Welcome, replay viewers. My name is Ruth-Ellen and I am your growth engineer. I help you to really get underneath the hood of your business to ignite what's going on under there so that you can see the growth you need in your business. Now, if you are on the replay, I want you to use the hashtag, let's get the right one, shall we? Catch me online. How about that? Now, if you've ever watched Jeremy Kyle, Jerry Springer, Wendy Williams, they're all great for drama and gossip and stuff, but they don't necessarily elevate your life. So when you type catch me online, how about that? You're making sure you are present. You are not just consuming content, but you're finding ways to elevate at a higher level, to surround yourself with the resources to get the best life yet. So catch me online. How about that? Making sure that you are not just listening to some more content, because they say that when you just listen to somebody, your brain flatlines. MRI scans actually show it. That means you're not actually learning. So this is a chance for you to really engage with the content, really ask those questions, and to really take in the information so that you can implement it in the way that you need to. Okay, so I normally help people stay kind of productive when it comes to work, because myself, I've generated over £120 million working for companies like Hewlett-Packard, Epson, and Expedia. And I make sure those processes around surrounding my everyday work life so that I could create those numbers in my pipeline, so to speak. And so this broadcast is all about how to stay productive. I have to be more productive when, even if you work from home, because I've worked from home in a corporate environment. I've worked from home as an entrepreneur, and I know how challenging it can be. When I started off here in this entrepreneurial journey, I listened to lots of gurus and experts, and I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but have they ever told you that you need to be like posting on social media 6 times a day? You need to be in like 3 or 4 Facebook groups. You need to be doing this and that. And it just causes overwhelm, because you know about all the things that they said you should be doing, but seeing a return on it, and especially if it's not immediate, because some of those strategies are long-term strategies, you will end up feeling very anxious around what's going on with your results, and you won't get as much progress as you need, because even though you're doing things, you're being busy, you're not necessarily being productive as much as you can be to make that needle move forward in your business. So today you're going to learn some of the tools, because I'm going to just do part 1, part 2, and part 3. So you're going to learn some of the tools that will be helpful for you to have in place so that you are productive as possible. Okay, so let's begin. Let's get into the content, shall we? Now, the first thing I kind of want to mention is this is going to be something that you might be like, well, I've heard this before. And like I've said, it's about discernment and asking those questions so that you not just hear this, but also implement this. Okay, so with that in mind, have you ever finished your day and realized that you've not done as much as you'd hoped? Have you ever looked at your week, looked over your notes, and seen that the things that you was doing, although were important, they wasn't giving you the results that you need to get those clients in? Or have you ever realized that you're doing much more learning than implementing? If any of those things apply to you, then perhaps a thing that I would recommend, highly recommend, is a planner. Now, if you've ever worked in an environment where you need to use a content customer relationship management tool, a CRM, like Salesforce or ActiveCampaign, then you'll know that the CRM tool is really helpful for you to be able to follow up with potential clients, follow up with potential opportunities, and actually have an overview of what's going on in your business and in your daily life. So if you've got a 1-page planner, it's kind of like your makeshift CRM tool to an extent, because you've got it right there of what you should be doing. You're answering yourself 3 key questions. Questions like, are these tasks going to be helping me live my purpose? What is my main mission today? Have I got the right energy in order to fulfill my mission? So some of those are just example questions, by the way. I normally give my clients 3 agile questions, and those ones just keep them on track for what they should be looking at and focusing on for that day. Because that 1-page planner shouldn't be something like, well, there's a big overall plan and the 1-page planner doesn't relate to it. It has to relate to the overall goal. And so the planner is really important. And you might have a diary. You might have a planner already that you've purchased. I know that I got one at the beginning of the year. Did I look at it again? No, because it was too much. It was here, there, and everywhere. And it was kind of like a guide for a business person, which was like, okay, correct, great. But the things that it was telling me to focus on wasn't any bottom line stuff. There wasn't immediate sales stuff. It wasn't gaining client stuff. It was, again, much more about awareness, which for you probably know as content marketing or marketing. And that's awareness, right? Marketing is supposed to do one thing and one thing only. It's supposed to start a conversation. And you're then supposed to convert that conversation into closing as a deal or onto a phone call or to a really strong call to action. If you're constantly just marketing and you're never feeding them through a funnel as such, feeding them through a tunnel which gets into the end destination, you're just constantly raising that awareness. And in fact, this week I was speaking to somebody and that was their plan. They just want to raise awareness for the next year because they don't want to still feel like they're being pushy and sell stuff. And if you want to have a reach, that's great. 20,000 people, fantastic. But you have to realize that these people are in different spaces. They're at different places in their organization. They're in different places in their own mission. So catering to 7 different types of buyers all the same is a sure way to kind of lose people in traction. That's the thing. Okay, I've just gone off tangent. Planner. Get a planner, get a plan, get a CRM tool, use one. Okay, so that's the first thing you're going to be doing to be staying productive. And you're going to check in with this tool, this thing that you're going to use every day. It's not a look at it once and leave it. In fact, if you look at it throughout the day, that's probably much more effective. That's the first thing. The second thing that you need to be doing in order to be more productive, especially if you're at home, is to be accountable. And it's not accountable necessarily to somebody. Accountability partners are very, very great, are very good, or very great. It's like English, please. Accountability partners are very effective, highly effective, right? But if you haven't got that person in your life right now, you need to set up the process so you can find the right accountability partner. Because you can be accountable to yourself, but the drivers that the things that drive us means that we do need somebody else checking in with us. We do need other people saying, have you done that yet? How's that going? Without judgment, of course. But we need that because we need to feel connected with others. We need to feel like somebody actually cares. And that accountability, that mastermind group gives you that. It gives you that. So you don't. That's why there's so many people that are like coaches and like are coaching people and saying, oh, you really know this stuff. I'm just helping you with the implementation. And sometimes that's all it is. And sometimes the actual coach knows the information as well and can guide the client to their ideal destination. But that's just another story. So accountability is the second one to be. So when I was working from home and I had a manager, my manager would phone me up and they would check on what I was doing, which was kind of like micromanaging. And that was a bit too much. No one likes to be micromanaged. No one likes to be asked. So what have you done for the last hour? So what have you done for this? What have you done? That's too much, right? We're grown adults, but we do need some things in place to make sure that we're on track for what we said we were going to get this week, this month, this day. So accountability is highly, highly important. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing is if you're using a CRM tool, like you've got analytics built in, so it'll tell you exactly where somebody is in a buyer's journey. It'll tell you what emails they've opened. It will tell you what content they've engaged with. That's why a CRM tool is so effective, right? If you haven't got that, then you might be looking at different processes in different places to get that information. You can use things like analytics to determine what you should be focusing on for sales success. So when I was doing some periscoping stuff, I looked at my stats and it was like 87 hearts, 17 comments, 22 live, 20 on a replay. And it was very insightful. It told me stuff that I wouldn't necessarily known unless I looked deeper, especially individually. So there are tools out there that actually help you connect, that third-party APIs. API, I'm not sure what it stands for, but I know it helps you to connect with other things that would be time-consuming for you to find. So look at the processes that you have, but make sure that you are measuring everything you are doing. Because the worst thing you could be doing is executing all of these great things and then not analyzing it. After 2 weeks of execution, I then follow up my client and I do a delete, or each week is themed about something. So then after that, we do the results, the delete, the repeat, the complete, because we want to make sure we're completing stuff, right? We want to see the results. We want to see what we should be deleting, what we should repeat it, what we should be repeating, and what needs to be completed rather. It's like reflectiveness, right? Being reflective is very important. If you're constantly just continually going forward and not reflecting on what's happened, you can't really see what's working. You're kind of blinded by it, in fact. You have to really look at your productivity to procrastination ratio. How productive am I? How much am I procrastinating? And is the procrastination going down? And is the productivity going up? That's the end point, right? It's like when we're looking at marketing, we're looking at SEO and we're looking at pay-per-click. The SEO is the organic, right? So the SEO should be really natural, organic, but it takes longer to process. And the pay-per-click is immediate. So eventually, but you're paying for it. So eventually you'll be like having less pay-per-click and more SEO, and you're spending less on pay-per-click, and the SEO is paying for itself because you're not paying for it, because it's done as an ongoing thing or a one-off thing that you've paid somebody to do, and it costs you less per person to acquire a new client with SEO, so than it does with pay-per-click. As an example, and I know I might be giving you some lots of terminology, but think of it as the way you want to move forward. You want to make sure that you are seeing results going up, the results you want, and the things that you don't want to see going down, right? It's really simple. And so that's just one of the things, right? That's the other thing that you need to be doing. We're talking about a plan, right? A plan. We're talking about a tool, a daily tool, like a CRM tool. We're talking about things that are going to help you to implement things by being reflective. And some of these tools and some of these things and some of these ways are just essential. I tell you, if I didn't have a CRM tool, to be able to monitor who I was calling, be able to see what content I was consuming, to make sure that I've got the right notes in that system or that particular database, to know where my opportunities lied and what needed to be followed up and what needed to be binned, I wouldn't have got any of those numbers. So it's really important that we monitor what's going on with our analytics and making sure that as people that have a purpose, that want to achieve much more, we're being very intentional with our time. So if you are going to do social media, make sure you can measure it and make sure that it's an automated measurement. So you get one report sent to you telling you about all your social media activities. It can be done. This process is there. There are places you can just plug and play your analytics and it just does it, right? So that's enough from me with regards to that element, But I wanted to really emphasize that I really appreciate you being here. And out of the things that I've spoken about, what one thing are you going to try to implement today? One thing are you going to start looking into? Because we've talked about discernment and MRI scans and your brain being flatlines when you listen to somebody and having to ask those questions. So I'm asking you a question right now because I don't want your brain to flatline. I don't want it to for you not to take the information in. So once you've got that key thing that you're going to concentrate on for this week or this month, put it in your calendar, put it in your learning plan. Take 30 minutes a day to actually implement this stuff, because I know there's lots of people that want to give value, and I'm one of those people. I want to give value. But I spoke to a coach the other day, and she told me that she intentionally gives people all of the information that they need, so that they'll feel overwhelmed and they'll see it as a logical choice. And I'm not sure if that's a secret that I'm not supposed to say, but I don't necessarily want to give you overwhelm. Yeah, I'm the next logical choice if you want to be productive, but the other choice is for you to take longer to get to the same destination. It might not be as effective. You'll probably do it longer than 90 days, but the point is, I'm here to add value, not give you overwhelm. I think that's the last thing I want to do. So one of the things I do want to offer you, though, is the opportunity to go on a one-to-one coaching program with me. And it's called 90 Days to Self-Mastery. Because when you master yourself, your habits, no matter what environment you're in, you are able to control what you can control. If the CRM tool changes, if the heat changes, if the desks change, if the computer changes, you've got your certain processes in place that you can take and plug it anywhere you want, plug and play anywhere you want. However, if you're always looking for the processes to be there for you already, like in a business, a ready-made business that's just got everything sorted out, even then it's not 100% sorted out, then you're going to always have issues. Wherever you go, there you are. I'll say it again. Wherever you go, there you are. And that means that you need to master yourself. You need to have this mastery mindset where you know yourself. I mean, just an example, right? So I've got the Motivation Manifesto. I've got a Lady Lover and Her Lord, T.D. Jakes. I've got Expert Secrets. I've got the Clear Speech. This is just some of my learning plans for stuff that I've read and reading again. And then I go obviously to public speaking, and I get feedback slips about speeches that I've done. Very personal story, touching. I like the way you story interlinked various topics. Nice style of speaking, right? This is like powerful speech and very well paced. Never stumbled over your words and used language very efficiently. Right. So I'm constantly trying to find ways to improve. I'm constantly getting feedback. It's a loop. So that every 3 weeks I told you about the delete complete thing that we do. This is what this is about. It's analyzing what you've done, giving yourself that time to delete stuff that's not working, to repeat things that are working and go and excel in them, and to complete things that need completing. And it's essential, right? And some of the books I just showed you, that just a little bit, a fraction of what I read. I read a book. I used to read a book every week. Now time is much more like I complete a book every 2 weeks. And I know that's like frowned upon. Like, come on now, but it's so important that we take this information that we've got a plethora of information, and we try to apply it to stuff rather than just consistently consuming. If you ever hear me speak before, you will know that I am a contributor. So I believe that we was put on this earth to contribute, to add value, to give to the world more than when we first saw it. So if we found it kind of broken and we see a part we can fix, it's our job to fix that part of the broken world. That's what our mission is. And I'm not telling you to fix the whole world, but if there's a part that you're kind of passionate about, that you know that's what your calling's for, or even just because you see it and you say, well, that's just wrong, this is how you do it, then it's your job to go out and do that. And you can't do that if you're constantly consuming. Once you consume, you contribute. And that's what kind of productivity is as well. You don't just constantly, I'm going to take a course, I'm going to get a coaching program, and constantly consuming their information. Your job is to contribute once you've got some of that, and not doubting yourself about it. And it can be challenging. I'm not saying it's not, but that's why I thought 90 Days to Self-Mastery is just something that worked for me. As somebody who's dyslexic and dyspraxic, I'm dyspraxic, which means that sometimes when I speak, I can't necessarily articulate some words, because when I was born, I had an umbilical cord around my throat, so it cut off some of my breathing, which makes it very difficult for me to sometimes speak properly. So some of the words that I want to say don't always necessarily come out. Some of the ways I want to say it don't necessarily come out. Dyspraxia, it's a very complicated condition, but I've got it, and I know that I need to master myself, because no matter where I go, the dyspraxia will be there. No matter where I go, the dyslexia will be there. So wherever I go, there I am. I need to self-master myself. So if you've ever jumped from course to course, from strategy to strategy, from business idea to another business idea, because you've got a bucket full of desires and goals, then perhaps these 90 days to self-mastery is for you. It's kind of like where being productive and achieving goals is a new normal. And maybe I'll show you the screen a bit more easier for you to see. Just going to see it there. Get off. Okay, where are we going? Two seconds while I get the right screen for you so you can see it on your machine too. Okay. So yeah, here's the page, and it's going to skip down. So you realize you've got a big vision, but you know time's too precious. You're sick and tired of doing stuff, and you want to outsource, and you want to take action. It's definitely for you if that sounds anything like you. So we've got about kickstarting the cycle of completion, because when we complete something, it's a circle, it's a full loop, right? You're going to learn how to set goals and leave you feeling inspired, that slot in easily with your current day and are specific. They're not SMART goals, they slot into your day. So whereas you might have a SMART goals, which then means you have to start new habits, this actually fits into your habits. It's really simple and it works. Then we're going to talk about your roadmap to success. We're going to talk about obstacles and making sure that you've got the tools you need to overcome them. And then on the day 15 to 21, which is week 3, we're going to do the kickstart of, because that's the beginning of the 7 days, kickstarting the cycle. We're going to review the kickstart. We're going to look at the results, the delete, the repeat, the complete. And that just basically means that we're looking at your ratios, we're looking at percentage of productivity you have, and there's tools I actually share with you so you can actually see how productive you've been without looking all over the house. And then we've got about starting your great performance through accountability tools and rewards, like I spoke about, and continuing the cycle by focusing on one thing, and then including different elements to get those projects kick-started, and to make sure that you've got processes for those projects so that you can see the actual results. And then we're actually doing that week 6, performance, the results, the delete, the repeat, the complete, because we're just going to hammer home that we need to make sure we're looking at results. We're results orientated, results focused, goal aligned, and we're looking at deleting and dropping things that just don't work, because we have to pivot. We have to test things. No size fits all. Okay. And then we've got like stuff about outsourcing, and I know there's going to be a hissy fit about it. So that stuff's there. Then we're going to talk about more automation, and we're going to look at what works there. So there's a whole bunch in here that's helpful to you. We've got things about the habits that you're going to be doing to 10x your performance that will just totally go up before you complete the 90 days. And then we're going to be looking at celebrating once you finish the 90 days. And I also want to make sure that you are very aware that you're going to get 11 sessions of one-to-one mastery coaching and training. You're going to get permission to freak out sessions, because let's keep it 100% real, trusting that your idea is going to give you the results that you desire, and the business that you want can be scary at times. So this is all about making sure that you've got that space, making sure that you are focused with a follow-up to help you stay in alignment, and making sure that you've got a bite-sized action plan so you're not overwhelmed. You've also got permission to procrastinate, because I know how easy it is to believe that you have to have everything done, that your habits are just on point. You have a permission to procrastinate daily. And then you're going to have less associated negative energy towards it as well. Bonuses: how to start, continue, and end your best day with mastery. The 1-day action planner, the chatterbox, stop the chatterbox series bonus, the private action taking space, and the exercise routine to make sure that your mentality and physically strong for this. And then once you complete it, because I've got no doubt you're going to complete, you'll get a level up only bonus, which is I Always Win strategy session, 20 appointments in 20 days if you're into sales, and how to have high converting sales conversations, because we're talking about premium, baby. Okay, so that's it. If you want to go to the page, I'll put the link below in the description. Just want to give you some more info about me. I volunteer Christmas for Homeless charity. I founded Dyslexic Success. I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic. I'm leaving a legacy of the world better off than when I first found it, because I believe that that's what we was born to do. I'm unapologetic about who I am, what I do, my thoughts, my feelings, my multi-passion for burlesque, dance class that I've taught to kids, my love of music, stand-up, and being the president of my local speaking club. I'm also a mother of someone with autism. I don't play around when it comes to encouraging him about his dreams. He's totally going to nail his dreams as well. The bottom line is I teach what I preach. So you've got frequently asked questions. And if you're still like wondering if this program's for me or not, then I will give you the chance, the opportunity to jump on a call with me. So that's it. Oops. You've heard everything that I've spoken about productivity. You've seen exactly what works in terms of in your own life, possibly by now, in terms of what's been working before, what's working now, if you've got a CRM tool, what the results are of the systems you have in place, and all those great things. And so if you want more information, like my contact info is at the bottom of the description. It's going to be updated soon. Thank you for watching, and I'm looking forward to reading all your comments about what you took away from this. So I will see you on the other side when I speak about this again next week around the same time. Bye for now.